So, the new Edge 70 Pro Plus is yet another Motorola banger. Now, at its 45,000 rupee discounted price, it actually offers very good value for money with the kind of specs it has. And I'm sure that a lot of other brands are looking at Motorola's Edge 70 Pro Plus and wondering, can we also pull this off? And in this price category, Vivo has an offering, and that is the Vivo V70. Very similar specs on both these phones except for the processor and a few other things, which I am going to go into the depths of. Let's compare these two and find out which one should you pick. By the end of the video, you should have an answer. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm Ashad. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now let's start with the design, and the Edge 70 Pro Plus is available in three really nice colors, starting with this one that we tested, the Pantone Zinfandel. It's got a really nice satin luxe finish as well. Apart from that, you've got the Pantone Chicory Coffee in a sculpted wood finish and Pantone Stormy Sea in a twill inspired finish. And every single color option has a different accent color for the camera rings as well, so that sort of elevates the whole design. Yes, the design is still familiar, but I like it a lot. It's also very slim at 7.19mm thickness for this color variant and the Stormy Sea color variant. The coffee color variant with the wooden finish is 7.34mm thick, which is also very, very slim by the way. And the phone weighs under 190 grams. Along with that, you've got the micro quad curved screen on the front and the quad curved rear as well. Makes it feel even slimmer in your hand. The V70 takes a more conventional route where you've got that glass slab design that we're all very well aware of. So you get glass on the rear, you get metal on the side with curvatures or rounded edges. The metal on the side definitely makes it better than the plastic that you get with the Edge 70 Pro. And it does look and feel very premium. It's clean, it's understated. The in-hand feel is also very, very good. I would say that the Motorola has a personality-driven design, whereas the V70 has a more understated elegance. For protection, you get Corning Gorilla Glass 7i glass protection on top of the display on both the phones. Although I would recommend using a screen protector with both the phones, primarily because Gorilla Glass 7i is not the most scratch resistant one out there. On the durability front, Motorola pulls slightly ahead. You get IP68 plus IP69 on both the phones, but Motorola adds military standard 810H certification on top of it, and you can do this. Both should survive. Now both the phones have stereo speakers, you get power button, you get the volume rocker, and you get a Type-C 2.0 port at the bottom as well. The Edge 70 Pro Plus also has the Moto AI key on the side, which we've seen on many other Motorola Edge series phones. The stereo speakers that you have with the Motorola has Dolby Atmos certification, which Vivo doesn't offer. But one big advantage that Vivo has over Moto is that you get an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner. Moto has an optical one, which is a standard optical in-display fingerprint scanner, and the difference in unlocking speeds is quite noticeable, and ultrasonic is definitely more flagship grade. Now, before I talk about the display and the multimedia experience on both these phones, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. It'll support us. Now let's talk about the display. Motorola has the larger display here. You get a 6.8-inch 1.5K quad curved Pantone validated AMOLED display with support for up to 144Hz refresh rate. Of course, the system UI will run at 120Hz, but there are some games that will run at 144Hz. And you also get 5200 nits of peak brightness in HDR content. Plus there is SGS blue light reduction and SGS motion blur reduction certifications as well for your eye safety. And yeah, it has Smart Touch Water 3.0 for when you have wet hands. Vivo has a slightly smaller display, a 6.59-inch 120Hz AMOLED display. You also get 120Hz refresh rate and 5000 nits of peak brightness along with 4320Hz of PWM dimming, which definitely is a good add-on to have, right? Now, while both are pretty solid displays, there are some differences we noticed while testing the two. When you compare them side by side, the colors are slightly better on Vivo's display compared to Moto, but in terms of HDR gradation while watching videos on YouTube, Moto does it better. It's also a brighter display whether you're actually using it outdoors in real life or indoors when you're watching content. Motorola does seem slightly brighter compared to Vivo, but Vivo fights back with Netflix HDR support, which Moto doesn't have. Now talking about the stereo speakers, Moto supports Dolby Atmos and we actually listened to them side by side. Vivo definitely sounds tinny compared to the louder, richer sound of Motorola. Take a listen to it for yourself and let me know what you guys think of our assessment. We also tested out the haptic feedback tuning, and Motorola does a better job compared to Vivo, that's for sure. The X-axis linear motor has been tuned well, it's tighter, it's crisper. Vivo's not bad, but it does not match up to Moto. Overall, if you look at it, Motorola definitely has the better multimedia experience, unless you really want the Netflix HDR support, which Vivo offers. Alright, now let's get into the numbers. And this is where, you know it, I know it, the gap becomes incredibly clear. Motorola beats Vivo. easily. Now you get LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.1 storage on both the phones. Motorola is available only in one variant, the 12 256GB variant. Vivo has the 8 256GB variant as well. The main difference is definitely the SoC. The Moto has the Dimensity 8500 Extreme, which is a MediaTek chipset, and you get the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 with the Vivo. And even the vapor cooling chamber is larger on Moto compared to Vivo, and that is reflective in the benchmark tests that we ran, which I'll get to. Anyway, we'll start with the synthetic benchmarks on Antutu version 11 and Geekbench 6. Motorola easily scores much higher than Vivo, which was to be expected. Motorola also sustains more performance under load because the CPU stability in our 40-thread 30-minute test was 75% as opposed to Vivo's 69%. In our Genshin Impact test, we ran at the highest graphics and 60 FPS targets, which we always do, and Motorola just runs circles around Vivo here. We got much higher frame rates than the Vivo V70, but it also runs cooler. So when you look at it, clearly for performance and gaming, Motorola is the better phone compared to Vivo. Now, as for the battery, you get a 6500 mAh silicon carbon battery inside the Edge 70 Pro Plus. You also get 90-watt charging speeds and 15-watt wireless charging support, which wasn't there in the Edge 70 Pro. And if you look at it inside the V70 as well, you get the 6500 mAh silicon carbon battery and 90-watt charging support as well, but there's no wireless charging. Now, calculating the SOT with Motorola was slightly difficult for us because our regular tool didn't work and the settings page doesn't make it really easy, but we estimated about 6.5 to 7 hours of screen on time with the Edge 70 Pro Plus, which actually is very similar on the V70 as well. So even the battery performance is matched. Now, both the phones offer very good camera setups, but they approach it from different angles. So the Motorola Edge 70 Pro Plus has a 50MP Sony Litia 710 primary camera with a 50MP ultra wide that also has autofocus for macros and a 50MP 3.5x periscope telephoto, which also has AI Super Zoom Pro for better quality pictures up to 50x. Now Vivo counters with a 50MP Sony IMX 766 primary and 8MP ultra wide and a 50MP 3x telephoto. And you know what? Both the phones have 50MP selfie cameras as well. Anyway, let's take a look at the comparison samples to see how they perform in real life. At 1x, both did a very good job, but if you take a closer look, Vivo does tend to slightly over sharpen the finer textures, whereas Moto doesn't. Even at 2x, the story is similar. At 3x, Vivo has slightly better details thanks to the fact that it has that dedicated 3x lens. At 3.5x, Moto has the best details. Vivo also does a good job, but Moto is the clear winner here. So zoom performance, I would say, largely is similar on both the phones, but primary camera details are slightly better and slightly more natural looking on the Moto. In terms of color accuracy, we feel like Vivo does a better job than Moto thanks to the Zeiss natural color mode. That's also true while shooting pictures of people. Skin tones are also really well done on the Vivo, while Moto tends to boost the skin tones. Now while shooting HDR images, both are pretty good, but the highlight control again is slightly better on Vivo. Talking about portraits, I liked the kind of portraits that we got from both the phones, but I slightly lean towards the Vivo because the bokeh drop off and the semantic segmentation is really good on that. On top, it also has the Zeiss lens simulations that you can play around with. And for some reason, at 3.5x portrait, which we shot with the Moto, the skin tones were slightly brightened. Every time we took a shot, that was happening. I think Moto needs to fix this with an update. While Motorola does have Pantone validation for colors and skin tones, I think the accuracy could be better, and I hope they can fix that with an update. Now, talking about ultrawide, Moto clearly takes it thanks to the higher resolution 50MP sensor, while Vivo is stuck at 8MP. So having a higher resolution ultrawide definitely helps because it rounds up the whole camera setup really nicely. Now, in low light, both overprocess the picture slightly, but Moto does it a bit more aggressively. When it comes to selfies, again, both do a good job. I like the way Vivo handles the skin tones, but again, like the primary camera, it's over sharpened. Moto does a more cleaner and natural processing than Vivo. For selfie portraits, again, Vivo does a better job at semantic segmentation, but here I would say that Moto also did a very good job. Now, talking about video recording, this is where Motorola has a clear win. You get 4K 60fps recording across all the three lenses. On top of that, the primary lens also supports HDR10 plus video recording at 4K 30fps. Now, Vivo can do 4K 60fps with the primary and the telephoto, but since it has an 8MP ultra wide, you can only do 1080p 30fps with it. And in general, just the fact that you get HDR10 plus video recording and you also get 4K 60fps with the ultra wide and the kind of videos that we got from both, we actually tend to prefer the Moto here for video recording. By the way, you also get 4K 60fps video recording with the selfie cameras on both the phones, and both do look very good. So the camera setups are very similar on both the phones, but they have different purposes that they serve. For example, if you want a good ultra wide angle camera and if you want better videography chops, then I would say Motorola is a better bet for you. But if you want better color accuracy, whether it's shooting landscapes or people, or if you want better HDR performance, then Vivo definitely does a better job. In fact, even in portraits, Vivo does a better job. The Edge 70 Pro Plus runs on Hello UI based on Android 16, and it's very clean, very responsive right now, at least when we were using it. And now there are pre-installed apps, and some of which can be considered bloatware, but all of it can be uninstalled, which is definitely a good thing, except for the Indus App Store. And after using the Edge 70 Pro Plus for a while, what we've realized is that Motorola is definitely working on improving the software experience, especially in terms of bugs and micro stutters and all of that. It's not like it's completely removed, but it's definitely an improved experience, and they're trying to consider the feedback and improve it. Also, if you look at it, Moto AI 2.0 feels genuinely useful to me. There's a bunch of stuff that's broken down into multiple segments. You get sketch to image, you also get style sync, which lets you generate wallpapers from images. You get text to sticker, which lets you create fun stickers that you can just share by giving a prompt. You have Moto Next Move that predicts what you're going to ask the AI to do, which is very, very nice. As well as Catch Me Up 2.0 to summarize all of your notifications quickly. And with Remember This and Recall, the phone tries to help you save certain memories and then recall them whenever you like. Apart from that, you've got Moto Gestures, which of course is something that is a Moto staple now. And Motorola also brings that extra layer of security that you get with it. And now it's called Moto Secure 5.0 with ThinkShield capabilities, which is basically enterprise grade. Then you get family spaces for parental control, and you get Moto Unplugged for digital well-being as well. In comparison, Vivo runs Origin OS 6 based on Android 16, and it also has a lot of useful features. For example, Origin Kit and Origin Island definitely stand out to me. I've spoken at length about it. However, if you compare the two, I feel like the AI features are more user-friendly on Motorola, and Motorola's software experience feels more global and slightly more refined in terms of the way it's designed. That's just my opinion, but what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Now, with respect to software updates, Vivo is promising 4 + 6 years of updates, and Moto is promising 3 + 5 years of updates, where Vivo definitely has an advantage. Now, between the two, which software experience do you prefer? Let me know in the comments, but I think that will just boil down to personal preference. So the thing is, ever since the Vivo V70 launched, the prices have gone up, right? And now if you look at it, we're comparing the 12 to 56GB variants of both the phones, and the V70 is available for 49,999 after discounts on Vivo's website, and the Motorola Edge 70 Pro Plus, the same 12 to 56GB variant, is available for 44,999 after discounts. And I'm only considering the instant bang discount over here. You pay 5,000 rupees less for Motorola, and you get better performance as well. So overall, if you're looking at it from a value perspective and a balance perspective, I feel like Motorola does a better job, and therefore the Edge 70 Pro Plus would probably be my pick here compared to the V70. Or if you want to, you can also pick up the Edge 70 Pro at 36,999 with discounts. It will offer almost everything that the Edge 70 Pro Plus has except for the telephoto and the wireless charging. And when compared to the V70, it will have a better processor but will lack the telephoto. So you have to make up your mind accordingly to pick the right phone for you. But between these two, I'm siding with the Edge 70 Pro Plus. But that's purely product based and the experience that we've had with this phone in the past 2 weeks. Of course, we will also test it in the long term to see how it holds up. So stay tuned for that video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.